Great lesson today. You've worked really, really hard working on the notes B, A, and G. I think you definitely have them in the bag. Now we're going to take the instrument apart. The first step in taking the instrument apart is to take the left hand and hold the body of the flute. We're going to take it apart in the reverse order that we put it together. So we'll begin with the foot joint. So the left hand is holding the barrel. The right hand takes the foot joint. You can hold it by the end, or you can take the thumb and put it over the bottom two keys. Remember, don't put any pressure on the rods or the mechanism. Right over the keys. Gently twist the foot joint off of the body. Next, continuing to hold the body in the left hand, take the right hand on the tube of the head joint and gently twist the head joint out of the body. Let's take just a moment to talk about instrument maintenance. It's really important to keep our instrument clean and in great working order. We'll begin by swabbing out each part of the instrument. We'll start with the head joint. First, take your tuning rod that came with your flute. You'll remember that we use the notched end to check the cork placement in the head joint. We use the open end of the tuning rod to thread a swab. Take a corner of a cloth or a swab. Silk works really well, it's very absorbent, or cotton. You want to make sure that whatever cloth you choose, that it doesn't have a lot of lint on it. You don't want little pieces of fabric to get caught on your pads. Then loop the cloth over the top of the swab and around it. Take the head joint out of the case, holding it firmly with the right hand, insert the swab into the head joint. Turn it several times to remove the moisture. Hold the swab against the tuning rod and then gently pull out. Place the head joint back in the case. Take the swab and pull it away from the tuning rod. Take the left hand and lift the body of the flute by the barrel out of the case. Thread the notched end of the tuning rod into the body. Press the cloth into the barrel. Notice that the notched end of the tuning rod comes out the bottom of the body. Pull the swab through the flute. If you have a lot of moisture in your instrument, you may want to do this twice. Carefully place the body of the instrument back in the case. Next, take the foot joint out, holding the foot joint firmly by the bottom or depressing the bottom two keys. Thread the notched end of the tuning rod into the foot joint. Draw the swab through the foot joint. Again, if there's a lot of moisture, you can repeat. Place the foot joint carefully back in the case. Take the swab and release it from the tuning rod. So the last step is wiping down the flute, taking your cloth and wiping off any oils or fingerprints or dust or dirt that may have gotten on your flute during your practice session. We'll begin with the head joint. So take it out of the case and take the swab and gently rub it down. You don't have to do a lot of heavy buffing. That's not necessary. Be especially careful around the embouchure hole. A lot of embouchure holes these days are cut at quite sharp angles. This helps with the response of the instrument. If you're constantly rubbing against that angle, you can actually wear it down and the head joint won't respond as well. So be gentle. Next, take the body out and you'll want to wipe it down in a similar way. Make sure you're holding it firmly by the barrel. I like to take the end of the body and place it against my torso. I'm drawing the barrel firmly toward my body so that the flute doesn't feel like it's going to fall. And then I just wipe down the body. I wipe off the keys. I wipe between the keys. Please be careful here not to rub your swab against the pads. this can cause the pads to wear much more quickly. So you want to wipe around the pads and not against the pads of your flute. If you're wondering about the stickers, you can leave them in place for now. We're going to use them for a while. Don't worry, it may leave a little bit of sticky residue, but if it does, it easily comes off with a little bit of alcohol and a cotton ball. It's nothing to worry about. It won't hurt your instrument at all. Lastly, take the foot joint out and wipe it down. And place it back in the case. Lastly, you'll want to make sure that you close your case. If you have any action figures, remove them first. You want to make sure that the case latches securely. And if you have an outer case that zips, zip it tightly. This will help protect your instrument. In terms of making sure that your instrument continues to be in working order, you want to keep a constant eye on the pads. The pads are the primary element in sealing the instrument as we play. If the pads aren't sealing properly, this will really impact your sensation of progress on the instrument. You want to sound fabulous, and having pads that seal will help you sound fabulous. If the pads look worn or dirty, it may mean that you need to take them in to have them changed. Also, it's not uncommon in a lot of beginner model flutes or even intermediate flutes for the keys to come out of adjustment. If it looks like you're depressing a key and it isn't closing all of the way, then I would take it in to an instrument repair specialist and have them do an adjustment for you. Again, you want your instrument to be in the best working order possible because that's going to help you be really successful.